Hello, for this week's Nexus I thought I'd do something a little bit different and have my new best friend forever, Randy Farrant, host the show instead of that other guy. Randy, why don't you tell him a little about yourself?
Sure thing, big guy.
He called me big guy. I love it when he calls me big guy.
So I'm Randy Farrant. I like pounding cold ones, chugging brewskis, keg stands, the music of Nickelback. Hi, sorry I'm late. Some guy saying he was me from the future phoned up and he said I had to gather historical figures to form a dance group. Hang on, what? What's going on? Are you hosting the show with another presenter?
No, Andy, it's not what it looks like. He doesn't mean anything to me. Randy, would you mind hosting the show rundown while I clear things up? And I didn't mean what I said. You mean everything to me. As a friend, I mean...
Whatever, guy. Here's what's coming up on this week's show. Catherine puts us in a moral quandary. Gaming's biggest cheats exposed. Valuable tips for a better love life. And nightmarish tales of infidelity.
That was so close. I told him you were a figment of his imagination, so he's gone home to lie down. Right, what should we do now?
I've got some sweet Creed bootlegs we can listen to.
Yeah, Creed. Awesome. What constitutes a mature game? Historically, the term's been applied to anything that isn't suitable for younger players, regardless of whether the game's content is actually just utterly juvenile. Ooh, it's got swearing in it.
Fun time for the whole family.
Wow, I think I just saw some side boob. OMG, that guy's head just exploded. Curse words, titillation, and gore. The three pillars of so-called mature gaming content. But that's the problem. Maturity isn't just a question of content, it's also a matter of narrative, themes, locations, characterization, and tone. Atlas clearly understands this, and with Catherine, it's delivered a completely unique tale that explores the challenges of relationships, fidelity, and impending fatherhood, dividing lead character Vincent's time between mundane conversations in a bar and terrifying nightmares plagued by manifestations of his deep-rooted guilt and fears. It's also a bloody good puzzle game. We spoke to the game's product manager to discuss the moral dilemmas unfaithful Vincent faces and how much of the player's own moral code plays into making these tough decisions.
As you play as Vincent throughout the game, you'll come across quite a few moral choices that maybe you've come across in life itself anyway. It'll be things like, it depends on how you reply to text messages that you get from significant others, and it's all to do with chaos and law, so depending on how you reply to these messages will depend on how you progress in the game, and it will depend on what ending you finally get from the whole story. When you climb the tower and you finally reach the landing, you'll come to confession. And confession, you'll be faced with one of the questions that you'll be asked, and it'll be something like, does marriage end your life, or is marriage the point of where life ends, or is it the point of where life begins? And then, the first time I answered it, I was like, okay, right. And it's like posting to Xbox Live, so yeah, posted out there for the world to see, so your girlfriend will see this. So be careful about your replies.
Okay, see you soon.
Hey, wait, I'm actually dating already.
Some people believe that there's only one person out there for you. That person is Lee Winters, who lives in Coventry, so there you go.
Are you familiar with life hacks?
I am not.
They're basically real-world cheats to make your life easier.
I don't get that.
Well, so I was supposed to write a clever intro for this top 5 of the greatest cheats in gaming history, but instead I'm just going to improvise the whole thing.
Yeah, how's that working out for you?
You tell me.
You mean this is the intro?
Exactly.
Clever. I think the most tedious aspect of Sonic the Hedgehog was all that running and jumping.
That was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Rubbish. I thought it was about hiding under hedges, eating bread and milk, and ultimately dying in a bonfire. Still, up, down, left, right, start and A, and there I was, final zone, defeating Dr. Robo-Egg, and then it was straight back to the game shop to claim that my nan bought me the wrong game so I could get Cool Spot instead.
Cool story, bro. The flying cars cheat in GTA Vice City is probably the closest we'll ever get to discovering how an 80s reimagining of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang directed by Michael Mann might have turned out.
I'm imagining it right now. Don Johnson as Caractacus Potts, Jamie Lee Curtis as Truly Scrumptious, Jan Michael Vincent as the voice of the car, because all cars talk in the 80s.
That's terrible.
It is! It's universally reviled by the critics and ultimately sinks the studio that bankrolled it. One reviewer calls it...
Yeah, I get the idea.
How much better would every game be if you could become an omnipotent being who could fly through walls and have access to every weapon immediately?
Well, if they're anything like Doom or Doom 2, they'd cease to be games and would basically become a chance to act out your darkest power fantasies.
Exactly. Take that, Dad! Bring it back!
Before we start, here's a quick tip. Don't do a Google image search for road rash unless you enjoy looking at pictures of people with horrific skin and bone abrasions. What you actually want to be searching for is Road Rash Game, the classic 1991 Mega Drive illegal bike racer from EA, and the subject of this week's Bring It Back. Bike racing games that had gone before, like Super Hang-On and Enduro Racer, were all very well and good, but their sickening adherence to the rules made them the video game equivalent of a lengthy lecture on forbearance from a maiden aunt. That's where Road Rash came in. Set around an illegal cross-country bike race, the aim of Road Rash was not unusual for a racing game in that you had to finish first, or at least in the top 3 if you wanted to proceed. However, you were racing on working roads full of traffic, stray cows and police who were out to bust you because you wouldn't play by their rules. Also, I guess you were massively endangering your life and the lives of everyone around you or something, whatever the man. Your opponents in these races remained the same throughout the game, and opposition racers would appear in screens before the races to taunt you, building up rivalries with the other riders that still burn white hot to this very day. You, Biff, you In the illegal spirit of the competition, cheating was positively encouraged. If you were having trouble passing a particularly skilled rider or persistent police officer, your best course of action was to hammer them with punches, kicks, baseball bats and chains until they fell off their bike, presumably to their death, I guess. Still, I'm an 8th now, totally worth it. Road Rash did spawn a bunch of sequels, but the last one, Road Rash Jailbreak, came out in 1999, with nothing being heard from the franchise since, giving us 13 long years in which we've been unable to boot rival racers into the path of oncoming traffic for fun and profit. So, how could Road Rash be updated for a modern audience? It would be great to see the series properly embrace multiplayer, with you and your friends forming bike gangs to take part in a coast-to-coast street race. You could race sections together cooperatively, or race as a relay with different members of your gang tackling different levels towards a common goal. And of course, as is compulsory in all racing games now, an auto-log feature to keep you constantly in competition with other people. Add to this a more nuanced bike combat system, a wealth of customization options, and no Biff, and EA, please take all of our monies, thank you. Oh, and get Rob Hubbard back to do the soundtrack. Got a suggestion for a neglected classic from the vaults you'd love to see get a new lease of life? Send it to the nexus at live.co.uk along with your ideas for how you jazz it up for the 360 crowd.
If you're already in a relationship, why not attempt to spice up your love life by treating your other half to a home-cooked meal before summoning the dark lords of the underworld with a traditional virgin sacrifice?
Now, I don't claim to know a great deal about American politics, but if this is how democracy works in the US, I'm all for turning the Houses of Parliament into an indoor football pitch.
Do you realise this is just NBA Jam, right?
Oh, I thought it was Fox News. This is how the last election was decided, though, isn't it?
Look who decided to show up!
Now, we here at Inside Xbox are firmly against cheating online. It's stupid, pointless, it takes all the fun out of the game, and the policy enforcement team will catch you and ban you from Xbox Live for 9,999 years. How long you got left, Dan?
9,998 years, 11 months.
Hang in there, champ. However, when you're playing offline with friends, there's nothing wrong with a little gamesmanship. It keeps us all on our toes. With that in mind, here's our guide to our favourite real-life cheats. When playing a driving game next to a friend, it's entirely possible to over-exaggerate your corner leans to the point where they actively impede your opponent's ability to control their car. It will require all of your concentration to keep your control steady, so you may want to practice on your own before embarking on your campaign of terror. Practice your mimicry skills to the point where you can throw confusing audio cues into your games of Modern Warfare 3, sowing seeds of doubt amongst your Modern Warfare 3 opponents and forcing them into wrong moves that you can capitalise on. Brr, 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 brr. Get into the pipe, comrades. There's a bomb.
During your gaming session, ply your hated friend with a beverage of your choice. We're using tea here, but the key thing is just to make sure there's a lot of it. When they inevitably pause the game and leave to answer the call of nature, unpause the game, kill them 100 times, take a photo of the score, and then unplug the Xbox, lock it in a safe, and throw the safe into an active volcano, safe in the knowledge that you are the champion of the game now and forevermore.
So there you have it, some excellent ways to ensure your dominance of the living room. We'd use them ourselves, but no one seems to want to play with us anymore for some reason.
Oh yeah, well give me 9,998 years, 11 months, and I'm taking you down.
Can't wait.
If your partner often works late, seems distant and has the head of a jackal, then it's possible that they are Anubis, the ancient Egyptian, god of mummification and the afterlife.
Ah, the famous Konami code, perhaps the most well-known and ubiquitous cheat of all time.
Remind me what it is again?
It's up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, quarter circle forward, half circle back, rotate the entire pad slowly, once anti-clockwise and then quickly 5 times clockwise, survive 10 rounds without taking a hit, tape a penny to the cartridge, BA.
Of course it is. Truly unforgettable.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and the only one-night stand that gave me terrible nightmares is the one I had with the Nexus.
Hey Dan, we're still going to meet up to go over the script for next week's show.
Yeah. I'd love to, but I've got to pull another late one at the office. Yeah, again. Got a really important presentation to prepare for. No need to come back. No, you work hard enough as it is.
Sounds really raucous there. Why is there music?
Oh, that, yeah, that's the development guys. Yeah, they've written some great code and they're having a party to celebrate. Oh, it's really distracting.
You know what, that Randy guy again, are you?
What did I tell you? Never again. It's just us. The old team, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Cool. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye. Right, where were we? Cool, so would we just hang out in this graveyard? Is that what we usually... He is, yeah. See you next time, everyone.